there! Berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm a little gal who likes berries and cream. And if you don't know where that's from, then I've just come off as a real weirdo. Hi there. Today we're trying RC Cola, a limited edition flavor, berries and cream. Um, that weird jingle was from a commercial back in 2007 with had a really short child dressed in like 1900s garb singing that he was a little lad to like berries and cream. It took off again, I want to say a year or two ago, by Justin McElroy, who is a famous podcaster, put it on one of his TikTok sounds, and all of a sudden it skyrocketed again. And so, since yours truly is always months behind the times, why not lean into that? But I don't know why RC Cola decided to come out with this flavor. I'm choosing to believe it's because of the meme, but I'm not really sure. But RC Cola has actually always been a little bit of an innovator, which is weird because when you think about RC Cola, you don't really think about them at all, really. You think about Coca Cola or you think about Pepsi. But RC Cola started in 1901 in Georgia. Um, its origins are one of delicious spite, which is something I can get behind. uh, Claude Hatcher, who owned like a bunch of general stores, bought a ton of Coca-Cola syrup back in the early 1900s, like lots of it all the time. And reasonably to him thought, hey, Coca-Cola distributor, I sell so much of your stuff. Can I get like a bulk discount? And the Coca-Cola salesman being like, yeah, you sell a bunch of our stuff. That means your customers love it. So no. So Hatcher decided, well, screw you guys. I'm gonna make my own soda. The bender, if you will, of soda makers. Several months later, he creates this thing called Chero Cola, which is like a cherry cola. Um, I'm not quite sure. Well, I take that back. The first soda that he made was actually Royal Crown Ginger Ale, but eventually his skyrocketing product was Chero Cola. Where Royal Crown came from as like a name, I have no idea. But eventually they take it as their brand, right? But they RC Cola is actually, as I said before, a game changer in the soda industry. They're the first ones to can their soda, for example. They're the first ones to come up with a diet soda. I know we think about Tab from Coca-Cola being the first, but we're not the first. Actually, RC Cola does that too. They You know what? There was a third one, and I'm going to forget it. But suffice it to say, innovative, top of the line. Um, if you're not familiar with RC, you might be familiar with Knee High. That's probably their most famous thing today outside of RC Cola. And I will say for you Tennesseans out there, I'm sure you guys are aware of the working man's lunch, which is an RC Cola, and a moon pie. I have had that lunch multiple times. um, Anyway, so nowadays, as you know, they're not flying off the shelves, and I think they're actually owned by Dr. Pepper now, which is interesting because Dr. Pepper had their own limited edition berries and cream flavor. I want to say a few years ago, so it's kind of fascinating that this is back. What's cool about this too is that just like that weird Mountain Dew pineapple flavor we had, it's also a Dollar General exclusive that I couldn't find up here. As I mentioned in my last video, this was the last non-alcoholic soda that my mom and my dad and my sister went out and found for me. So I'm looking forward to trying it. But before we do, I'd love to take your attention to the can. It's not yellow due to your camera. It's just kind of genuinely aged. It's got that classic, well, I say classic, but it's trying to evoke a sort of classic, nostalgic can flavor. I like the font. And I like the color scheme too. It really does invoke this kind of idea of a cream mixed in with a cola and a purple berry. With that, we'll try this bad boy out. Well, at first sniff, it smells very vanilla and raspberry-ish, kind of. I don't know if y'all remember those cream saver candies, but it kind of reminds me of that. So let's see what that's like when we pour it in the glass. As we've noted before, when we pour it out into a larger container, it kind of lets it aerate a little more, and then we get a more distinct smell. So I'll admit, a little disappointed that it's just brown, but You know, beggars can't be choosers. I was hoping for a little purple like the can, but no, in this case, it does still smell like it did from the can. It smells like a cream saver, a raspberry and vanilla cream saver. And with that, I really like it. But yeah, it tastes like a raspberry candy with vanilla in it. You get that bite of the RC cola. We talk about a Coca Cola bite, but RC's is a little different. It's when you drink a Pepsi, for example, when you drink a Pepsi, that's always really sweet, right? And when you drink a Coca Cola, it feels aggressively, for lack of a better word, sharp. This kind of glides that fine line. It's it's less sweet than Pepsi. It doesn't have that sort of acrid bite of a Coca Cola. Um, it knows where its lane is, but it feels like that is the base, and then you have a bunch of heavy vanilla, and then somebody was like, "Yep, raspberry in it." So with that, I would say too that maybe the name is a little bit misleading. Not necessarily just berries, just one berry, the lone raspberry, I guess. Um, but I really like this. It's very sugary though. Um, I know most sugar sodas, what a shock, it's sugary, but some are more sugary than others. And in this one is definitely one that's very sweet. Uh, I think this would actually be good as like a float or something. Like you pour it over some ice cream. Um, but yeah, if you can go get it from your Dollar General, highly recommend. A plus plus, would drink again. Would probably cut it with ice because it's just sweet, but it's really tasty. Next week, as an attempt to sort of cruise back up, I guess, I-65, so to speak, we're going to try Ale 8, which is a unique Kentucky soda. A soda that was invented in Kentucky and is still made there today. Um, until next time, well, I can't even finish my tagline. Until next time, drink weird.